What's going on, everyone? Welcome to G-Ball Vision. Today I have a new knife here to share with you all, and this one's coming in from Artisan Cutlery. It's been a little while since we've had anything in from Artisan Cutlery, I believe. We've had some CJRB stuff come in, but I don't think we've had anything Artisan here, so maybe this is a sign that they have some new stuff on the way out, which I think that they do. But this is going to be their newest release here, and this is basically just a new version of the Artisan Cutlery Cleo. And we'll get the brother of this out here in a moment, but let's take a look at this thing. We're perfectly centered up here, and we're going to be looking at a lot of the same characteristics, but in this case, we're going to be getting the full copper scales here, and we're going to be looking at the same texturing, I believe, and we're still going to be looking at S90V, and we're still looking at the sand polish on that blade. So it's going to look really good. I have said this is one of my favorite fifth pocket size knives that have come out in a while. If we're talking about the more mid tier, mid tier end of higher production knives, in that ballpark. These come in $130, I think, for this, and then they're 140, 150 for the tie. So for the titanium, so very similar price range. And this is going to be solid copper, so it has a little bit more heft to it than the titanium does, and we'll have to check that here in a moment. And then we're getting that milled titanium clip here, which we'll also take a look at, and it is going to be reversible there for lefties. So really nice touches. Artisan has really been doing a good job over the last year or so, all of 2024 and into 2025 now, really doing some good work. We'll take a look and get a measurement on this thing, see what kind of size we're looking at. So we are looking at 2 inches of cutting edge, 2.5 of total blade, and we're coming down there around 5 7/8. Couple of comparison knives. We have the Kaiser Drop Bear and the Benchmade Bug Out, and that'll give you a good idea right there. This is more of something I would consider a fifth pocket knife, and you could say it's a secondary knife as well. But for some places, this is the legal limit. I believe there are certain jurisdictions in the United States alone that require you to have under a 2.5 inch blade. So, and this might not even get through on that. So I don't know the guidelines on how strict they are for that, but so that is, a secondary fifth pocket to me, but this can be all some people are allowed to have as well. And then I wanted to bring out the brother here in titanium. So we're looking at very similar in everything, all the texturing. It's all going to be the same, but in this case, we're looking at just the copper scales, and we're still going to be getting the pivot collars on both. So yeah, everything's the same, and we do have open construction on both of them as well. We'll go ahead and see what this one looks like in the pocket. And if I remember right, that the pocket clip it had quite a bit of, well, I don't feel too bad. It's certainly not going to fit in like real thick seamed pockets just because of how short this is, but it's definitely going to, whatever pants you do wear it in, going to look pretty good in the pocket. You'll have a little bit poking out there and really good retention. It's going to be, I don't know if I'm wearing track pants. Can I fit it over like the waistband? Yeah, but it's pretty tight. And then in the pocket, it goes in, but it's still pretty tight. So thicker seamed like track pants, waistbands like that, going to fit, but it's going to be pretty tight. I think in normal jeans, though, that is going to be just fine. We'll go ahead and check both of these for their weight. I'm pretty interested here to see what they're coming in at. This one is way lighter. 2.5. So that's 2.3. Man, I don't know. It's freaking heavy though for its size. 4.5 maybe? Could it be more? 5. 5.5. 6. 6 ounces. What the hell am I talking about? Okay. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, man. So 2.4. Oh, my sides hurt. Oh, to 3.7. So it's not crazy difference. Oh, man. But it has some heft to it. It really does. Compared to the titanium, this feels like nothing. But that has some pretty good heft to it. Oh, man, that was hilarious. We'll get a check on the handle here, and we're looking at a very thin boy here, 0.39 for our blade stock. We'll get a check here on our blade stock thickness here, and 96 thousandths. Behind the edge, and we're looking at 20 thousandths, which is very, very standard. We'll go ahead and see how this thing cuts out of the box. And I did just check. They're both identical almost in as far as the dimensions for the handle and blade. Let's go ahead and see how this thing cuts. And the reason I like this particular design, I love sheep's foots like this. And if I'm going to carry a smaller knife now, the idea of, I don't know. I guess you don't have to say a smaller knife always equals lighter, right? You don't have to say that, I guess. So you could kind of forget that ideal, and then this kind of just makes you feel like you have a more substantial tool, no question, than this, because this is just, it's really light. So I guess it depends. If you like something that feels a little bit heftier in the hand, that's going to do the trick right there. Being solid copper, not quite 6 ounces like I said, but it's going to have some heft to it, no question about it. That's pretty big or pretty heavy for such a small knife. And these will take on a nice patina the more that you use this thing. And I'm positive this came with a pretty good edge on it. They're both in S90V. Same exact finish on the blade. And I've noticed, too, that these sand polishes, because I carried the Wizard a ton, the Kami, I think it is, a ton, and that finish that they do on these blades really, in my opinion, depending on what you're cutting, really helps it go through that material opposed to a coated blade. I think coatings do give a little bit of drag depending on what we're talking about. But this sand polish that they do, it just glides through material. And this has a nice thin stock to it. It is going to be a button lock, and it does have good feeling action on the open. It's got a nice, it gives you a nice wind up there so you can really get on it. Don't know how they're doing that. I've said that many times. I don't know how they're getting quite that initial pull on these knives. It feels better and better. New model in and new model out. Almost feels like it's a real detent. Very close. Let's go ahead and, I mean, it's not, but I'm saying it's damn near as close as you can be with a button plunge lock. You know, if you've handled plunge locks for the last 2-3 years since they really became prevalent, the difference between, like, if you are pissing around, you're going to, you know, miss it like I just did. Yeah. It's got a nice freaking resistance there. Let's go ahead and see what kind of lock we're looking at, because it feels like it's locked up good. When this thing comes out of the handle, it just has a great sound. Let's go ahead and check this lock. Every knife shall meet the whacker here. Centering was nice. There's no detent, so we can't check the detent lash because there won't be any. There's no movement in there around the pivot. And it's locked up really, really well, like I said. So let's see how this thing does. We'll work it from the tip down. Yeah, this thing feels good. Rock solid. Yeah, buddy. You know, I wonder. I have wondered, I guess I should say. You know, they haven't proven to be so, but is it possible for them to be so? Right? Is it possible for a plunge lock to be really strong if it's, you know, done exceptionally well? How, you know, that's something I've wondered. Or is there things you can kind of implement? We do have a stop pin in there, and I think that plays a huge, you know, that's a big deal, having a stop pin in there. But you guys will have to let me know your thoughts on that. Something I've wondered, if it's done well, could it get stronger? It's a question I've often wondered. Just, you know, just because it wasn't right initially or wasn't that great initially, does that mean, you know, it couldn't eventually be better and a lot stronger than, you know, it's proven to be? You guys will have to let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you think of the Artisan Cleo here, and which version do you like better, the titanium or the copper? Let me know your thoughts. Love hearing from you. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. That helps push the video out there to more people, and I truly appreciate it. If you're new to the channel here and you enjoy this type of content, you're in the right place. Make sure you subscribe, because I release daily videos just like this. I'll pop up a couple of new videos on your screen. Go check one of them out. Have yourself an awesome day. Thank you all again for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.